Something is quietly sitting at the center of the global economy, a narrow stretch of water, barely visible on most maps. Yet, if it stops working, the entire world begins to shake. This place is the Strait of Hormuz, and right now it is one of the most dangerous points on Earth. Because if conflict here escalates, you won't just see headlines. You will feel it in your fuel tank, your grocery bill, your savings, and your future. Every day, nearly 20 to 25% of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow route. That's over 20 million barrels of oil daily. Think about that for a moment. One small disruption here is not a regional problem. It is a global shock. And when tensions rise, especially naval tensions between powers like the United States and Iran, markets don't wait for confirmation. They react instantly. We've already seen early signs. Oil prices crossing $100 per barrel. But here's what most people don't understand. That's not the real crisis. That's just the warning. Because in a full-scale naval conflict, oil doesn't rise slowly. It spikes violently. Analysts are already warning prices could jump to $150, even $200 per barrel. Not gradually, but suddenly. And when that happens, it triggers something much deeper than just expensive fuel. The first reaction is panic. Countries, companies, and traders begin scrambling, trying to secure whatever oil they can find. It's called panic buying. Not because oil disappears instantly, but because fear spreads faster than supply. Everyone rushes at the same time. And when demand suddenly surges like that, prices explode. But that's only one layer of the crisis. There's something even more invisible and more dangerous. War risk insurance. When conflict begins in critical shipping zones, insurance companies immediately increase premiums on every vessel passing through. Sometimes, massively. This means even if oil is still available, it becomes more expensive to transport. And that extra cost gets passed on to the entire world, to industries, to businesses, and eventually to you. Now imagine the situation getting worse. Naval clashes don't just create fear, they create real damage. Oil tankers can be attacked, ports can be targeted, production facilities in countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Iran can be hit. And once infrastructure is damaged, this is no longer a temporary disruption. It becomes a long-term supply crisis. Because oil production and transportation systems are not things you fix overnight. Some might think, can't we just use alternative routes? And yes, there are pipelines. For example, Saudi Arabia has an east-west pipeline that bypasses the strait. But here's the reality. It can only carry about 7 million barrels per day. Remember, the Strait of Hormuz handles over 20 million. That leaves a massive gap, more than 13 million barrels per day, with nowhere to go. This is not a small shortage. This is a global imbalance. And when supply drops while demand stays constant, prices don't just rise. They spiral. Now let's step back and understand what this really means. Because oil is not just fuel. Oil is the foundation of the modern economy. It powers transportation. It drives industries. It affects electricity. It influences food production. Even fertilizers depend on energy flows linked to oil and gas. So when oil prices surge, everything else follows. This is where the real danger begins. A condition economists fear the most: stagflation. It's when prices rise rapidly, but economic growth slows down. People spend more, but earn less. Businesses struggle, but costs keep increasing. And economies begin to stall. For countries like China, India, and Japan, which heavily depend on imported energy, this becomes a severe shock. Their production costs rise. Exports become expensive. Growth slows down. And when major economies slow down, the ripple spreads globally. But the crisis doesn't stop at oil. The Strait of Hormuz is also a major route for liquefied natural gas and fertilizers. Nearly 20 to 30% of global LNG passes through this region. So if conflict blocks this route, gas supplies tighten, energy prices rise further, and electricity costs increase. Then comes the next layer: food. Fertilizers become expensive or scarce. Agricultural production is affected. Food prices begin to rise. And suddenly, a geopolitical conflict turns into a global cost of living crisis. This is how interconnected the world really is. One narrow waterway can influence billions of lives. And here's something even more important. Markets don't just react to reality. They react to expectations. Even the fear of prolonged conflict, even the belief that resolution is unlikely, is enough to push prices higher. Because once trust disappears, stability follows. We've already seen this pattern. A temporary ceasefire can bring prices down quickly, but the moment tensions return, prices jump again. This volatility creates uncertainty, and uncertainty is one of the most expensive forces in the economy. Now think about this carefully. You may not live near the Strait of Hormuz. You may never see it. But its impact can shape your daily life, your expenses, your savings, your financial future. Because in today's world, wealth is not just about how much you earn. It's about how global forces silently influence your purchasing power. And events like these reveal a deeper truth. The global economy is not as stable as it looks. It is built on delicate connections. And when one critical link is threatened, the entire system begins to feel the pressure. So when you see fuel prices rising, or groceries becoming more expensive, or economies slowing down, remember this: sometimes the real cause is not visible. It's happening far away, in places most people never think about. Watch carefully, because global shocks don't arrive with warnings. They begin quietly. They spread silently. And by the time they become visible, the impact is already everywhere.